Right, I think I am live. Hopefully I am. Let me just go ahead and tweet this out real quick for you guys, and we will be all set. All right, Cole Cooper will be joining us in a moment here. He's the co-owner of News in General, and he'll be joining us a little later. So basically, let me go ahead and tweet this out and share this event out. Just to mention, make sure to comment below on your, your theories as to what happened to the Malaysian flight 370, and also make sure to follow us on Twitter, News in General, and all that good stuff. I'll get into that a little later in my introduction here. So let me just share this stuff out for you guys. Okay. Hello, folks. Now, before we get into tonight's topic, which is the missing Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, we will be discussing our theories as to what happened to the flight. We'll also be discussing your theories as well and seeing what we can come up with, basically. But first, let me do some shameless self-promoting. As you know, newsingeneral.com is a place to get all of your news stories that is not bound by corporate interests, like CNN and other news outlets. So please check out newsingeneral.com. I know Cole Cooper has been putting out some very interesting articles, like the Obama giving Americans a raise, and also the other article he put out there, would a world without money actually work? You can follow us on Twitter at newsingeneral.com, and you can continue the conversation on our active Facebook page, facebook.com/newsingeneral, all one word. Okay, now let's take care. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's get on with our theories and stories here. Like I said, make sure to comment below and give us your theories as well, because I really want to hear your theories. So first, let's take a look at some of the news articles here. Basically, the news articles are saying there's a lot of people out there saying that's a conspiracy theory, basically saying that the Malaysian Flight 370 has been taken over by terrorists, or maybe did our own government take this plane over and is going to use this plane for a future black flag terrorist attack on our own country. Because you go ahead and take a look at 9/11 and you look at the plane that was used in that, and people are saying that it wasn't even a United Airlines flight. It was just kind of like a blacked out plane, basically, with a stripe down the middle and with windows on the side. My theory is that it possibly could be something like that. But what happened to all the people? Okay, what happened to all these people that are all the passengers, basically? If that were so, there would be passengers speaking out. But let me get to the point here. Maybe the passengers were either bought out or sworn to secrecy or even threatened if they went on to basically talk about what was going on, the truth. So our own government could be involved in this. You never know. You never get the whole story with media and stuff like that. So basically tonight I'm going to be trying to dig down deep into different theories as to what happened to this missing flight. Where are these passengers? Why hasn't there been no real wreckage found? Why wasn't there a distress signal sent out? I mean, come on, there has to be a distress signal if something's going wrong with the plane. So that's why it leads me to think that the distress signal wasn't sent out because the plane wasn't in distress. The cockpits and the people that were in charge, I guess the two passengers or whatever that were supposedly got tickets. Right here it says friends got tickets for mystery flyers. So I believe they're Iranian. I'm not positive on that. Maybe you can write down in the comments below. But supposedly there was two passengers that were Iranian that took tickets, or friends got them tickets to get on this plane, and then all of a sudden the plane goes missing. So basically I'm going to be looking at some different articles here. Okay, so here's this article from fastcompany.com. I'll put the link in the description below after the video has gone up on YouTube. It says, where in the world is Malaysia Airlines Flight 370? Conspiracy theorists take to the internet. So basically they're saying, oh, everyone who has a conspiracy, or everyone who tries to dig deep into the Malaysian Airlines flight to figure out what happened to it, because obviously we're not getting the truth with what's going on with the news and media. They're basically labeling everybody that's out there that's trying to dig deep into it a conspiracy theorist. Now that's okay, that's fine by me, because I like my conspiracy theories. So on Saturday, a Boeing 777 disappeared over the South China Sea without a trace. We still have no idea where it is. Conspiracy theorists, start your browsers, it says. they add it there as a second heading. Honestly, I'd like to get your guys' ideas as to where this flight is, what happened to it. My idea is either the flight has been taken over by terrorists, or the flight has been, been captured by a UFO or lost in the Bermuda Triangle. I don't know. Basically, I don't know. Hopefully, it hasn't crashed because they haven't found no wreckage. They should have by now. I mean, look at all the airplanes and boats that were out there looking for it. You think they would find something, and they haven't. They did find something in the water, but they said it wasn't related to the crash, supposedly. But I just hope, the people that were on the airplane, either if it's a terrorism thing or if they, a country captured the airplane and went ahead and put it like in a safe hiding place or in an airbase somewhere to where nobody can see it, and let the passengers go. That's what I hope for. I hope the passengers are okay, because some of the passengers weren't involved. There's only like 2 passengers maybe involved with this, I'm hearing. So hopefully those other passengers are okay, because I hate to see all these people pass away and over some terrorist plot. Because if it was malfunction, they would have sent out a distress signal. So either 1, it's a terrorist plot, or 2, they were captured by UFOs, or possibly 3, they were lost in some warped Bermuda Triangle type thing. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get you guys' thoughts on that real quick. By the way, you can use the YouTube Q&A, the Q&A app for the YouTube here. You can also just comment below in the video, and I will respond to you guys there. But priority, if you use the Q&A app, that's priority. I will respond quickly with that because I have it right here in the Hangout that I have going. But if you have it on the YouTube comment, then we're going to have to go onto YouTube and then look at the comment. And it kind of takes a while. So it's a lot easier to use the Q&A app that we have here for the Google Hangout. So that's really good. Oh, look who it is. It's Cole Cooper, guys.
Hello.
Put my earbuds in. That way I can hear him. Where are my earbuds? Here they are. Over my freaking neck.
And we are live.
Alrighty. I can't hear Cole yet.
Alright, can you hear me now? Oh. Should be able to.
Oh, wait a minute. I think I hear him. Yes, I hear Cole now.
Hang on. I can barely hear you now.
Uh-oh. What'd you do, Cole? Did you break the whole internet thing?
No, I think that was you.
Oh, wait. Is this better?
There we go, yeah.
Better?
A little bit, yeah.
Let me try something real quick. Having some little technical difficulties. Apologize for that. Okay, I can hear you now. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, we're good to go. Hopefully this whole thing doesn't crash, but we got a question here. Could it be a distraction from the Ukraine topic?
Well, hang on. Where are we in the discussion right
okay. Right now we're in a discussion as to a possible theory as to what happened to this Malaysian flight. What happened to it? What is your theory on this? Now our guest or our comment here by YT Viceman, he asked, could it be a distraction from Ukraine?
I've been thinking that too, but yeah, I've been thinking that too. But from the news reports that I've been seeing, at least I was watching some of the mainstream media stuff, they're still mentioning Ukraine. So
yeah. This is CNN still has it out there. Drudge Report also has it out there. I recommend going to Drudge Report. Don't go CNN. If you can, also go to newsingeneral.com. So
yeah, I've been actually in the past half an hour here. I've been watching a bunch of different news reports. Mainstream media decided it's easy, but if you watch a whole bunch of different ones from different news sources, you see a lot of discrepancies.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've mentioned it or not, but did you? What did you mention about the plane itself that went missing? Did you mention that there was some mechanical problems?
There was? No, I didn't mention that.
Because a lot of news reports have been saying there are no mechanical problems.
If there was a mechanical problem, there should have been a distress signal sent out. Because if it was a mechanical,
unless it was serious.
Well,
here's my point. And what could have happened might have been serious. And they mentioned, because they talk about the plane's history. They say the plane had great history, nothing happened. Some reports. Other reports, I think it was ABC or something that mentioned it, said that 2 years ago, I guess some airport had clipped its wing, and they said they fixed it, but if that would have caused structural damage to the plane over time, wears and tears, and eventually the wing blows off.
Yeah. So,
and I was watching another video too, and they had some expert on saying that if there was a serious problem, the first priority is to not at all contact anybody. Instead, fly the damn thing and see if you can solve it. And when it's all over and done with, then you contact somebody.
Okay.
Because it's distracting, right?
My point, I agree. My point is, though, there should have been some type of wreckage found. Look at how many boats and planes have been searching for this in the area that it was, last known. I mean, it's not like we're searching in the Atlantic Ocean. It's not like a huge amount of.
It depends on what. If it was hijacked, like some people are suggesting, the standard terrorism thing.
Well, hey Cole, let's not throw that out. It could be terrorists.
It could be, but hey, come on.
Because think of this. Okay, let me tell you my theory that could be possible here.
Right.
Maybe some country out there that wants to prepare for a big war, prepare for a big terrorist attack, maybe took over this flight and maybe flew it to an undisclosed location or undisclosed airport. Maybe are holding all these people hostage. Okay?
I was about to say that. Yeah, maybe it didn't crash at all.
Yeah, holding these people hostage and are planning this terrorist attack and going to use this plane for it in the future.
Right.
In the future, that's possible. That's very possible. I mean, because look at the supposed 9/11 attack. Look at how people are saying the plane that they seen didn't look like a United Airlines flight. It looked like just a blacked out plane, a white plane with a black stripe down it. That's what they said it looked like with windows on the side, basically.
Well, all planes have windows on the side, but
yeah. But they said there was no insignia either.
Right.
There was no United Airlines flight, on the tail where it says AA. There was no insignia there either. So what if it's our own government that could be doing this, or what if it's another government that's doing this? Or
I don't think the U.S. would have a hand in that all the way out there. I can see.
No. I'm just saying.
But how about Russia?
Yeah. That's very plausible there. Russia. Yeah.
Yeah. See, the U.S. really doesn't have anything to gain from a plane, disappearing over Malaysia. Actually, in Vietnamese airspace.
What about another false flag operation, though?
You never know. Of course, there's another thing that's been.
Wait. That's why I threw that subject out there, was you never know,
Right. How's my lighting? Does this look okay?
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, fantastic. Your face is all lit up, real good. So you're good.
All right.
I had a busy week. I'm gonna have a more busier week. I got like 4 or 5 more doctor's appointments. So this month.
And I don't know if you've mentioned it or not yet, but as well, the airline, Malaysia Airlines, I believe it was.
Yep, 370.
They've also, if this turns out to be a hijacking, this is in the case that it's actually very similar to something that they suffered that happened to them in the 70s.
Oh, really?
A very similar thing happened to Malaysia Airlines in the 70s. One of their planes disappeared. It was a hijacking, and 100 people died.
Well, what did they just crash in the ocean, or they?
Yeah, they crashed in the ocean. Yeah. But so that's why it's very, very similar to what happened in the 70s. If it is a hijacking.
Yeah, if it is, that's it. If it is, but like I said, they haven't found no wreckage yet, and there's been tons of planes and tons of boats out there as well, looking for the wreckage, and they haven't found. They said that they almost found something, like they found something floating, but I guess one of the search and rescue places or whatever, or people out there, organizations, said that it didn't have anything to do with the airplane.
They thought they found a door, and then it turned out not to be a door.
Yeah.
They found some oil, but they don't know if it's from the plane or not.
They found the oil.
They I guess they're testing it to see if it's from a plane or not.
They said that's also in a deep part as well, like a deep part of the ocean, where they're seeing the oil slick. So to go down and try to see if the plane sunk down there. And also, you got to remember currents too. Currents will carry that airplane quite a ways,
Well, it depends.
If it's broken up into smaller places.
If the plane was able to land on the water, which can be done because that's happened.
Oh, yeah.
But obviously, if it would have landed on the water, we would have found it by now.
Yeah, and we would have found the rescue boats and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
The survivor boats. Yeah. But what's your theory on it? What's your conspiracy theory on it? Is there a conspiracy, Cole?
Conspiracy? I don't know if there's a conspiracy. I don't want to be too early to throw in conspiracies.
Let me just say this. Fastcompany.com, which is a weird name for a news organization, their title for their article is "Where in the World is Malaysia Airlines Flight 370? Conspiracy Theorists Take to the Internet." Now they're basically saying anybody who digs into the Malaysia Flight Airlines to basically speculate on what happened is a conspiracy theorist. If you have an idea about the Malaysian Airlines flight, what happened to it, you're a conspiracy theorist. Okay.
You're right.
I mean, come on now. They're going to just label everybody a conspiracy theorist in the world.
Well, you look at all the planes that have, magically disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
You wonder how the hell that happened, and we haven't found, well, any of the planes that disappeared there. So
exactly. Let me just go ahead and let everyone know who's watching. If you use the Q&A app on this video here, on this YouTube video, use the Q&A app. We'll be able to get that question out there, and we'll be able to answer it a lot easier.
Oh yeah, I should be able to pull that up.
Yeah. We'll be able to use it a lot easier if you use the Q&A app that you have on the YouTube there. So use that, and we'll be able to get to your question just like that.
Yeah, they have to. I think they have to go to Google Plus for that.
Oh, Google Plus? Okay, yeah. Google Plus then. All right. Well, but yeah, I tweeted it out. I Facebooked it out there. Apologized last night, guys. Was it last night? Yeah,
Saturday,
last night.
wasn't it?
Oh, Saturday. Can't remember. I got so much. Cole, I got 5. I had 7 appointments this month.
Right. Oh, geez.
Doctor's appointments, and one of them was 2.5 hours long.
Yeah, it's almost an appointment every day.
Yeah. So basically, I'm gonna be busy this month, and I got a lot of stuff to do. I also have my insulin. I'm sorry, I'm going off topic here, but I just want to discuss with Cole here. But my insulin, I'm bumping up 4 times a day. I'm taking 3 during the day and then 1 at night. So I'm gonna be feeling like crap basically throughout a couple of days, trying to get used to the new insulin. And if you do any research about diabetes, type 1 diabetes, certain times of the day I will just feel like crap. Certain times of the day I'll feel great, and I'll feel nauseous one day, and then I'll feel sweaty and dehydrated the next day. So it's like basically I'm going through pregnancy all my life, basically.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like I'm feeling like crap throughout my whole life because the insulin makes you feel different, and the highs and lows in your blood sugar makes you feel different as well. So.
Yeah.
One minute, Cole, I'm gonna be yelling at you, and then the next minute I'm gonna be praising you. You know, it's like I'm gonna be.
You already did that anyway, so.
Yeah.
Anyways, something I do want to mention. I read this morning. It was in a Reuters article. I was reading it, and they were saying, of course, there's the 2 passengers on the plane that were using stolen passports. One from Italy and the other one from Austria.
Actually, a friend gave it to him. It's been said that a friend that's what
they claim that the passports were both stolen in Taiwan. But anyways, the point is, one person was saying that we probably shouldn't make the direct connection with that terrorism because apparently it's common in that area that people use stolen passports on flights in that region. Really? Apparently it's common, so they're saying don't make this direct connection to stolen passports and terrorism immediately.
Maybe got mixed up or something,
Apparently it's a common thing.
Well, that goes to question their security over there too, as well.
Well, both the passports were reported stolen, and of course there's an international database for that, and that was never caught. So they're wondering whether the airline and the airport bothered checking whether these passports were stolen, and of course they would have been modified passports, so they would the picture would at least match the person that was using them. Wouldn't be like, this is me.
Have an Asian name and be some white Caucasian guy. It's like, you're really this guy, right?
See, the picture there, it's an Asian guy, but see, I magically changed.
I use that Asian tan or whatever, that Asian tan that you can get.
It wears off after a while.
Yeah.
But so at least in that article, they suggested don't make that direct connection. And of course, in other newscasts, which I really think that a lot of these news, mainstream media is going to try to sensationalize it because they do sensationalize everything else. So they're going to eventually be pushing this terrorism thing and that because, well, it gets viewers.
Yeah,
which is sad.
That's
why you see, of course, I was watching these, and of course CNN, they focus on the terrorism, ABC. I watched one newscast from Australia, which actually wasn't that bad.
But the thing I find cool is they're not really talking about what could have happened. They're talking about, okay, we found an oil slick, this guy took the passports. They're not speculating as to what happened. They're just, talking about. I want to get people's opinions and ideas about this. I want to try to get the theories out there and talk about them to see if we can find out what happened before the government, takes control of the information
Well, yeah,
puts out what information they want.
The U.S. is desperately trying to get into that investigation.
And yeah,
so
that's because
if anything interesting actually happened, the U.S. gets in there. Yeah. Nothing happened.
Yeah, and CNN's gonna spat out. Yeah, CNN's gonna spat out their stuff, and it's just gonna be totally mumbo jumbo of the real truth, basically.
It's like all those UFO investigations of the 50s.
One of my theories was that I was saying here before you joined was that is it possible that it could have gone into like a black hole or into like a warp bubble or like a
I wouldn't say a black hole. Did
a UFO capture it like a Bermuda Triangle?
That's what I was thinking. Actually, I was thinking maybe if there's aliens, because of course you look at World War II, there was a lot of alien sightings and in a lot of wars. And you look at what's happening in Russia now and Ukraine. I'm sure if these UFOs seem to be so interested in wars, I'm sure they're going to be paying attention to what's going on there.
Yeah.
So why not pay attention to what's going on elsewhere in the world? Maybe they want an airplane now. It'd be a big airplane, but
yeah.
And another thing to mention too, I don't know if you've mentioned it, but there's only been one fatal crash in the 20-year history of the
Malaysian Airlines.
No, the Boeing. It's a Boeing plane, right? Boeing 777.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been one fatal crash, and that was last year.
So, oh wow, really?
It went 19 years with no fatal crashes.
Was it the same airlines though?
It's the Boeing that particular plane across all airlines.
Oh, across. Okay, yeah.
In its entire history.
Jesus.
Only seen one fatal crash.
And it was just last year.
Yeah, and that was last year.
I wonder if the black box was recovered.
So it's a really good plane. Not much has been proven in the past 20 years. It's an extremely good plane.
I wonder if the black box was recovered.
Well, they claim not yet, but of course, a lot of governments claim that they found nothing. And
yeah.
And another interesting.
I just one quick thing before you go. We got one viewer, and I just want to tell him thank you for tuning in here. Also, make sure to comment as to your theories as to what happened to the Malaysian Flight 370. You could go ham, as they say, hard as a motherfucker. Basically, say UFOs abducted it. It went into a black hole. It's what? It went into a wormhole that went into the center of the earth, and it's stuck in there, and it just got crushed.
Well,
who knows? The
wormhole theory, is kind of validated by science. Although science says that they're too small to put anything through. Could you make one bigger? Sure.
Yeah.
And of course, science has suggested that too.
Yeah. Also, all these airline flights and boats that gone missing in the Bermuda Triangle and all over the world has been linked to UFO abductions and stuff like that. So
right, and there's one thing.
What happened to Flight 19? They say that was an alien abduction, or it went into Bermuda Triangle and went into like a wormhole type thing,
right,
and got transported God knows where, alternate reality or whatever. Maybe this could have happened to this flight. You never know. You never know what could have happened. Yeah. Yeah, we go to Mars and freaking airplanes. We're all sitting there and boats and stuff. What the hell is this?
There's a field of them.
Yeah.
But another thing to mention too, your black hole theory. Yeah. I can, with a lot of certainty, 100%, say there's definitely a black hole in that area.
There's micro.
But it's not the black hole you think it is.
There's micro black holes all around us, like everywhere in the entire univerce. There's micro. There's micro like.
The black hole I'm speaking of though.
Yeah, you're talking about
actually a radar dead spot.
Center of the Earth, black. Oh, wait, what are you talking about? A radar dead spot?
I'm talking about there's a spot in that region where no radar reaches. It's just you're on your own.
Well, Bermuda Triangle, the radars totally can reach out into the Bermuda and
planes still disappear.
The Caribbean, thousands of planes disappeared, thousands of boats disappeared. So you can't link boats and planes disappearing, thousands of them.
But in this case, you might be able to.
One is on water and one is up in the air. How can you if something happens in the water, like say a tidal wave or whatever, it's not going to happen in the air too. The plane can't just automatically fall out of the sky because there's
right. But my point is, since nobody was able to track the plane in a dead spot, let's say if for some reason it went off in that area, it went off the edge of radar. There's no tracking it anymore. So if it did crash, we will have no idea where it is.
Okay, so but is there a dead spot? Is there a dead radar spot?
Yeah, apparently there is in that region.
Are they searching? I wonder. Let's see if they're
they probably are. If they aren't, they're idiots. Let's search everywhere but here. Like
that's the first place. That's the first place they should have started searching.
Yeah, and I've seen that in some other news report. But wouldn't that be something like? So we think the plane's over that way, but we'll go search over there.
All right, go ahead and let's see. Let me pull up the YouTube video here real quick, guys. That way I can see if there's any comments rolling in, because we got one person viewing. Thank you, one viewer. It's probably Mark Hyder or Brandon or Anthony. Who knows who it is? Let's see if there's any comments. Because basically I was hoping to monitor the comments on the Q&A app, because I really love the Q&A app. It's
oh, yes,
beautiful. I mean, the Q&A app for the Google Plus here is awesome. So if you have a chance, if you can, get to the Google Plus page. Yeah.
And there's another theory I want to throw off to you, and you can tell me what you think of this, because this one's happened before. I've done an Egyptian airline, I think.
Oh,
but anyways,
in
the past. But pilot suicide.
Yeah, that's very possible.
I've seen that one video, and it's happened before.
Yeah.
You know, pilot suicide on one.
Co-pilots as well, so you know.
Yeah, on one FedEx flight. I don't know. I used to watch Mayday a lot on Discovery.
Oh yeah.
And that terrible brainwashing box.
yeah, brainwashing box, Cole. You're getting brainwashed, Cole. You're brainwashed.
Yeah. but there was one FedEx plane. And I guess the guy, I don't know, he wanted to kill himself, right? So he started, I don't know if you've seen it, but he started beating the snot out of the pilot and the co-pilot, right?
Yeah.
And he's hoping that the plane crashes, and then, they just label it an accident, right? And that's what they think, he thought. Anyways, the problem is that I guess he didn't expect in that case, the pilots to put up such a good fight. They subdued him and landed the plane, but they were bloodied as hell. They suffered brain damage, and they can't fly planes anymore. They were so beaten up. They suffered absolutely hell.
If this is the case what you're describing now, we should have seen this plane, come up somewhere. If the co-pilot took over the main pilot or whatever, and tried to,
Oh yeah, but in that case too, I described it was suicide too, and the plan was to just put it in a dive and just straight into the ocean.
Straight in the ocean.
Yeah, and of course, the plane's going to disintegrate if it hits the ocean.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But there should be some type of material found,
Right, and it's happened before where we've had a difficult time finding planes. Yeah. There was an Air France flight.
I give it. If we don't find the plane in a week to 2 weeks, then we're gonna be wondering, hey, is this a terrorist type plot? Did it get sent to another country and is just sitting on the airstrip waiting to be deployed to crash into a building or something?
Well, at this point,
or did a UFO capture, or did it go to a black hole?
At this point, I was watching some CNN thing, Anderson Cooper 360, and they had some guy from the airline, some top official. He was saying that the plane would have run out of fuel by now. So if it did continue flying, it probably crashed. So
of course, yeah.
Maybe if your theory's right, it could have landed somewhere.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm sure there's ways to disable the its radar signal, but if there is, you can still find the plane on radar. It just won't have any identification. It'll just be a blank dot on radar. But so even that's very difficult to do, because if it would have went, like I said, if they did that and they were able to stop it from sending out its signals, you can still follow the plane.
Yeah, that's true. And if we do find the plane, Cole,
right,
and we find a black box to it, I wonder what's gonna be on that black box. What is it gonna tell us about what happened? Well,
what's that cigar-shaped object?
Yeah. I mentioned, yeah. If you guys ever get a chance to watch, I recommend watching on Netflix or Amazon. It's called UFO Files. And watch the one titled Black Box, I believe it's called.
I think I've seen that.
Yeah, UFO Files Black Box or something like that. Basically, it's all about airlines having encounters with UFOs. Okay.
Oh wow.
And it's amazing. I recommend it. I recommend you guys watch it. It's one of the first UFO files that I actually watched, and this was back in like 2006, 2005. So I've been a long time researcher into UFOs, conspiracy theories, and stuff like that. So. You ever want to talk to me about all that stuff, and Cole knows it as well with that Black Knight UFO satellite type thing. Of
course, I'm really into it now too.
Yeah,
it's UFOs. Awesome. Just finished that book, UFOs in Wartime. Great book.
Beautiful. I recommend Chariots of the Gods by Eric von Däniken. Now this book was published in the 80s, but some of the stuff in there is just eye-opening and astounding. And Eric von Däniken brings a lot to light. Opens your eyes basically. to the fact that there's possible, UFOs visiting our planet and possibly doing some alien abduction type thing with us. Hopefully that's not the case with this Malaysian flight. Hopefully they, landed and the passengers are okay. And if they did go down in the ocean, hopefully they got out and some of them survived and got into like a survival raft.
One of two things. Hopefully they either got out and survived,
yeah,
or if it was really brutal, hopefully it was quick.
Hopefully it's quick. Exactly.
Yeah, you don't want them suffering either.
Yeah. But let's not discount the fact that they could be held hostage, from a terrorist organization,
that'd be scary too.
Yeah, or also be sworn to secrecy, not to talk about what's.
When you think about it, what I mentioned earlier briefly, the standard terrorism thing.
Yeah.
If it was that, and let's say they were being held hostage, and of course if the U.S. found out, the U.S. would immediately want to help anyways, because the U.S. likes getting involved in those types of things. But wouldn't that be just another great reason to, increase even more security, ensuring that you have even less rights when you fly, like
absolutely.
In the U.S., you got your wonderful TSA, and they pat you down, like we got to search your crotch, for for terrorists.
Now with this incident with the Malaysian flight, it's gonna go all across the country where they're gonna be top level security at the airport and stuff. Yeah, you gotta have a rectal exam every time you gotta fly.
Yeah,
like,
you gotta get my.
Whoa, buddy! Whoa! You're not my what do they call it, proctologist or gastrologist or whatever they call it.
Oh yeah, and the guy would probably say, "I am now."
Yeah. Snap the gloves.
Yeah. It would be a great reason. They used 9/11 for it. Whether 9/11 was an actual terrorist, plot or just done by the U.S. government, no matter what, it was used as a way to get take away your rights.
Well, with that, take a look at Building 7. That Building 7 collapse was used because of the airplanes that hit the building. They used that. Oh, the airplanes hit the building, so we're just gonna blow up this building and act like it was destroyed too. That way,
the insurance will pay for it.
Exactly. That way we can get the insurance, to pay for it and get that money as well, and also hide some scrupulous activities that we've done.
In that case, the owner wanted $7 billion. He got $2 billion.
$7 billion. Oh my God! What a fucking. Oh man, I'm sorry, guys. I just hate people that do that.
Of course, conveniently with 9/11, they wanted to.
Think of all the people he could have killed. If
he wanted to get rid of the he wanted to get rid of the asbestos in that building.
Yeah.
And he did that.
He could have got fined for a lot of things too, and a lot of paperwork could have been found in that building.
I did some research into asbestos, and generally it's safe as you don't touch it. It's if it's used as insulation, just leave it there. It's not going to do anything. But,
if you get it in the air, asbestos in the air, you breathe it in, then you got to worry about it.
If you start disturbing it,
Yeah, you start disturbing it. If you just let it go, let it sit, you don't start punching your walls and stuff.
Yeah. Well, I guess I did some research in the UK. I guess they got teachers dying because they like putting things in the wall, like their
stuff up. Yeah.
They take the pin, they put it in the wall. There was one lady, she did that for 25 years, and she died.
Oh my God, terrible.
So, yeah, but at least it isn't dangerous just sitting. Otherwise, all schools should be closed, including mine.
Yeah, exactly.
But another thing, go ahead.
I was just going to say we got 3 viewers, and go ahead and comment below as to what you guys think with the Malaysian Flight 370. What happened to it? Did it disappear in a black hole? Did a UFO capture it? Did terrorists take it over? Or sadly, did it crash and all the survivors are gone?
And I think with terrorism too, if it is a real thing and they are real terrorists, not CIA paid terrorists.
God, I hope not.
Yeah, wouldn't that be scary? I think the general assumption that a lot of people have, all terrorists are of Middle Eastern descent. I think you should probably get away from that too. Because
Okay. We got some comments here. Dominic4296 on the YouTube video here that we have on the YouTube page. He says, "I'm saying aliens are involved." Nick John, he also says, "Let's hope it did land safely." And yes, we totally agree. We got one more comment as well. Let's see. Top comments. Okay. Dominic 4296 also says, "Governments are covering up things up there." Wait, what? Sorry about this. Governments are covering things. There is something bigger going on here, he says.
In reference to UFOs?
I believe so, because he's also the person that commented as saying aliens are involved as well.
Well, you look at UFOs and you look at all the wonderful investigating work the U.S. government was able to do in the 50s.
Yeah.
You know, everything was the planet Venus. Everything was a temperature inversion.
Yeah. Oh, it's swamp gas, guys. Even though it's
swamp gas. Yeah, that's a good one.
It's an object you can touch. You know, you can see it and touch it. You can see it blinking, but it's swamp gas. You know, it's magical.
Of course, you see a UFO and you're like, I'm gonna tell somebody about this. 5 minutes later, knocking on your door. You know, so-and-so.
Yeah, the men in black, you know, the black shades, the black suits with the, you know, vanishing car and stuff. You know, you look out the window and all of a sudden the car's gone. They come to your door and say, you know, so you reported a UFO. You know what the best answer is to say about that?
What's that?
Hell, no, I didn't see nothing. No, it was swamp gas. No. Never admit to seeing a UFO to people dressed like CIA. Basically.
That's what I do if they knocked on my door. You know, I swear. You know, I'm pretty sure 100% it was the planet Venus.
Yeah.
It was like daytime and all.
It was the sun. It was the sun reflecting off of a airplane up there.
The planet Venus.
Yeah.
I swear it was the planet Venus. It was a cloudy night, but I swear, planet Venus.
Holy cow! We're not that brain dead, guys. Come on, man. You know.
And, you know, if it was UFOs, they're not even going to suggest the idea. If it was UFOs, immediately terrorists.
Yeah.
Or the plane exploded.
Wacko, you know, he needs to be on pills if he thinks it's a UFO or...
Oh, yeah, that's what they did to all those military guys, you know?
Yeah.
That's...
Yep. And that's why a lot of them are now, you know, on disabilities and stuff because of all those medications they've been taking have basically warped their brain and warped their thinking. They can't think right. So actually, in reality, the medications have made them crazy. And you know, all along they were telling the truth about the UFO.
Too. The guy's crazy.
Exactly.
You know, he's probably going to forget what happened, and even if he doesn't forget, who the hell's going to listen to him?
Yep, that's true. Just to let the viewers know, we're going to go ahead and end the show at 8:45. That's probably because I have to take my insulin and stuff like that. So just let you guys know.
Yeah, I always have to think about that when you say stuff like, what time is that in my time?
8:40. That's 8:45 Eastern.
So 6:45 here. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of got screwed up there with the time change there, Cole. I'm like freaking. I set my alarm clock. What happened was I set my alarm clock and I didn't set it for the right time or the time schedule change or whatever.
Right.
I set it for like 8:30 or something like that, and I freaking like woke up later because my alarm clock went off later, and I'm like kind of screwed up the whole day. I was like, what the hell's going on? You know, it's light out still, and it's like 6:30 or 6 o'clock.
Yeah, that's nice though. And I was screwed up last night. I couldn't sleep.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it took me an hour to fall asleep because I wasn't used to going, because my body thinks it's a different time, right?
Yeah. Just a shout out Cole for you guys. Cole is the co-owner of newsingeneral.com. He also has been doing a lot of articles on the site as well. Go take a look at it. We'll put the link in the description below. It's just newsingeneral.com.
Something interesting I should probably say about those articles.
Yeah, go ahead.
I found, I don't know why this is, I guess it's writer's block, but I've been having a hard time thinking of new ideas, and here's what, and I think I found my solution.
Yeah.
I think the computer killed my creativity. And seriously, I was able to write it, the last article I wrote, I did on paper.
Yeah.
I had no problem writing it. I tried to write that exact same article on the computer, I stared at a blank screen.
Jeez.
So I guess I had to go back to paper.
Well, no, here's a good remedy to that, Cole. Why don't we ask our viewers as to topics to cover basically? And if they want to hear something, okay, if they want to hear something and hear it from our perspective or our opinions, we go ahead and do an article or do a video on it, and we could get it out that way. That way we can have ideas as well building up in the background for a rainy day.
That's a good idea. And another thing too, I did for article ideas is. See, now on my email, I guess the different governments and stuff, you can subscribe to different email newsletters that they send out.
Yeah.
So I get 60 emails out from the same place. So you look through here, every one of these emails says U.S. Department of State.
Holy cow! Why did you subscribe to them?
I just wanted to see what they put out.
Okay, yeah. I recommend subscribing to unknowncountry.com for conspiracy stuff and UFO stuff. Before it's news, that's an excellent site, but some of the stories on there are false. You got to kind of watch that.
Yeah, read through it.
Yeah. Why not go to our website? Just check it out, newsingeneral.com.
Yeah, News in General.
Yeah, we don't have a newsletter yet, but hopefully in the future, as we
I can set that up. It's really easy to do.
Yeah. As we build up, as we build up, we'll get our newsletters out there for you guys.
And I do that just to see what the government's on. Of course,
Yeah.
I see Obama's face in there, so I guess
Oh yeah.
I get his weekly addresses now.
I want to go ahead and do another quick shout out and a mention. How'd you like that photo with Obama's head on it on the News in General? It was
Interesting, yeah.
Xerxes from 300.
And I know this is off topic.
That was done by Tim Bryan, one of our good friends, or one of my good friends and viewers actually, and fans.
Right on.
Yeah.
What did you think of that article I did on Obama? It's time to give America a raise.
About damn time there, buddy.
Yeah,
in a way, it's kind of a good thing and a bad thing, because are we financially capable of giving a raise to all the people that are working? Yeah, it's good. I'm glad.
Yeah, I think it would boost the economy, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
I think
people would have more money to spend, basically.
Right.
Sorry, it's okay to go off topic on this, by the way.
Yeah.
So if you want to go ahead and just throw out some random questions and random theories and just random topics.
Yeah. And of course, in that article, I asked, is it too low? And I kind of think it might be, it might not be. What do you think?
Well, Canadian standards, Canada has a higher rate, don't they? They get paid more.
It varies in provinces and territories. Okay, so the lowest in Canada is right here in Alberta at $9.95.
Yeah, because I heard Quebec has a pretty good rate as well.
The highest in Canada is in Nunavut at $11.
$11.
And there's been calls in Ontario for a $15 minimum wage.
Oh yes, $15. Boy.
So,
right, guys, right, viewers, we want $15 for United States, Yeah,
and that'd be and of course we're the $9.95 is drawing criticism to Alberta.
Yeah.
Is it as bad as what the U.S. finds? Probably not. Hang on a second.
Whoa, that was that was pretty loud, guys. But anyways, yeah, thank you for commenting on the comment section here. I really love hearing your guys' theories on this topic on the Malaysian Flight 370. Like I said, get wacky, get wacky with it. Get crazy with the theories, okay? Get crazy with the theories. Did the airplane fly up a monkey's butthole? Get crazy with the theories out there, because I just like to speculate and stuff like that. As you guys know, I'm a big conspiracy nut. I'm the go-to guy for conspiracy theories. So, yeah, as Cole is away talking to whoever's on the phone, I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at some comments, see if there's any more. Thank you, Vlog Montana, Anthony. Thank you, Dominic4296. Thank you, Nick John, I believe. Yeah, Nick John. Thank you for tuning in and commenting as well. And Anthony Vlog Montana, his comment is, hell yeah, $15 an hour? Heck yeah. I definitely agree. $15 an hour would be fantastic for the United States. It would definitely boost our economy, because hey, we could spend that extra cash on tech gadgets and grocery videos and stuff like that. But I think Cole Cooper is back. Yeah, he is. He's sitting here listening to me, probably jabber my mouth. Anthony just tuned in. He commented about the he's definitely okay with the $15 an hour pay raise.
Well, I would be too.
Yeah, that's
Work at Walmart, $15 an hour.
Yeah, heck yeah. Work at Mickey D's, $15 an hour.
And I think eventually it will happen. Of course, there's other countries in the world that have it too, but in Canada, being very, very, very similar to the U.S., it could probably work quite well.
Yeah.
And so maybe $10.10 is too low. You have to make I think you have to wonder if you have to think about whether that would actually allow a person to afford for the essential things they need.
Yeah, that's true. Living expenses. Because you think every time they raise the living expenses, they raise the pay rate.
Right.
It's
so really, it makes no difference.
It makes no difference.
Right. So it has to be fair. And of course, Obama's like, it's time for 10-10. It's great that you can say all that stuff, but is 10-10 enough?
Exactly.
That's what we have to wonder. And it might not be.
Okay, let's see. What?
The whole 10-10 thing, it might be too low.
Let me be too low. Well, compare to how you're living. If you're living freaking 5-bedroom house with 3 bathrooms and freaking Mercedes Benz out in the
and being broke is your problem.
out in the driveway, then yeah, exactly. They're being broke is their problem.
If you want all that stuff, get a better job. It's called moving up in the world, like I say in the article.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you're on minimum wage, you got a 1-bedroom apartment,
yeah,
you're making decisions, food or bills and all that. Then you got to wonder.
Well, 10 would be perfect for a 1-bedroom apartment, because yeah, that'd be perfect. Depending on how many hours you put into the work, how many days of the week you work, stuff like that. Yeah, 10 would be perfect. If you got a family. Then you got to count that's a whole nother ball game once you go into the non-single life and go into having a whole family you got to take care of. I'd say having a whole family, say 2 kids, and a wife and yourself, and two cars as well. I'd say 13 to 15 would be awesome.
Right.
Anything above that would be kind of overboard.
Yeah, let's give them $35 an hour minimum wage.
Hell, man, we'd all be having mansions built and everything. Jeez.
Better yet, $55 an hour. It's time for 55.
Yeah. But then again, they'll jack up the pay the living expenses too.
Oh yeah.
That's what you got to factor in, Cole.
Exactly.
Every time they raise the pay rate, they raise the living expenses.
Yeah, and then it makes no difference to anybody. Yeah. They're still poor.
So it's just like big deal, Yeah, it's just to give them that big, happy, yay, we're working, we got a pay raise, but the living expenses have been raised.
Yeah, of course. You go into the whole, devaluing of the Federal Reserve notes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, also that, and also we can go into the up and coming jack up in price of milk and meats as well, because hamburger and different type of meats and stuff are going to be way up there in price. Milk is going to be up there.
What's happening? What are they doing?
Well, also because of the whole Russia thing, Ukraine thing. Also the drought in California and the West Coast. The drought is affecting.
The drone's going to affect produce and stuff like that. And of course, Canada will be really affected because we bring in a lot of stuff from California.
Yeah. Also, like other disasters and stuff over in the east as well.
Mm-hmm. So
like flooding and stuff like that. That's affecting our produce and our production.
In Canada, they're suggesting that if California does end up having the problems like predicted, of course they're already going through it. It actually might be an opportunity, at least in Canada, for Canadian farmers to start growing this stuff and boost your own economy.
Yeah, you're gonna try to take over, aren't you? Now that you see the U.S. is kind of mixing with the Ukraine and the Germany or Russia over there, excuse me. Now you're going to try to take over, aren't you, you Canadian?
And, meat prices.
Tyrannical country.
At least for where I am in the country, I don't think it's going to affect us too much, Of course, with all the beef that we have in Alberta, but we're relatively well known for our beef in this province. So I don't think the prices will be going up too much, considering beef we eat doesn't exactly travel very far.
Are you promoting on News and General Channel? Are you promoting Canadian beef?
I'm promoting Alberta beef.
That's not allowed. No, that's not. I'm just kidding with you guys. Go ahead and promote all you want to.
Yeah, and it gets exported all over, but so at least for us, probably won't affect us too much. Produce-wise, we're going to be affected. Yeah. They've already admitted that. We expect to see higher prices in terms of produce. Yeah. Which it's always a pain. Of course, they're bringing in a lot of stuff from Florida too. Florida oranges.
Oh, don't even talk about oranges. I haven't had oranges or orange juice in like forever because I can't drink it and I can't eat the oranges.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I haven't had that in for years. Since I was 22, 23, or no, 21, 22. I haven't had oranges. Yeah, kind of sucks because I lived in Florida for 15 years, and got used to the orange juice and got used to loving the oranges, and now I can't have them, and it sucks. But I'm used to it. It's been a few years.
And of course, we import apples and stuff from the U.S. too. Yeah. But it depends what time of year.
Stop talking about this food, goddammit.
But it's on topic.
I know.
Let's talk about.
Let's talk about how you're getting a haircut this summer. Everybody that's watching, comment below and say, "Cole, get a haircut." Okay. Okay, do that, please. And I will follow you on Twitter if I'm not already following you.
Of course, it depends what time. Actually, week by week, it seems to change. You go in a store one week, you look at it. Product of Washington next week. BC oranges, or apples.
No made in China, really. Holy cow!
And we don't get that. I've never seen China fruit. in the store.
Okay.
Except for like those. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just sorry I butted in there, but Anthony went ahead and posted. He says, "So, what do you think of the Ukraine situation?"
Wait your whole life.
We haven't really touched up on that one. We got 45 minutes. We could talk about the Ukraine topic. I think the United States government should keep their nose out of what's going on over there.
That'd be safe for them to do that.
Yeah. Because when it comes down to it, we're looking at World War III. We're looking at getting in with Russia and possibly North Korea, and we're also dealing with all these other countries as well. So, is our military prepared? Yeah, is our military prepared for all this?
Oh, you bet the military is probably prepared for it. Yeah,
but also Obama's trying to cut the spending for the military and bring back the military too. So, is that a smart idea to do that now that all this uproar and upheaval is going on? I don't think it's a smart idea. I think we should keep an eye on what's going on over there, okay, in the Ukraine and with Russia. See if Russia, does, take over Ukraine and try to at least do that. Because right now they're not trying to. Right now it seems like they're just trying to, keep everybody at bay, okay? Keep everything calm. Make sure there's no people dying and stuff like that, civilians and stuff like that. They're just, taking things and just looking at it like we should be doing, basically. What the United States wants to do, what our government wants to do, is just fucking go over there and
bomb
everybody and put them in jail and go over there with towels around our heads and black masks and just take over the whole fucking country.
Who's the real terrorist?
Yeah, who's the real terrorist with that,
And of course they'll say, it's a peacekeeping mission.
Yeah, it's like, okay, listen, one little move by any other country, the United States goes after them in a straight line. But if the United States does one little thing, it's okay. If the United States does something big, it's okay. You should stay away because we're big and we're powerful and we're going to blow your ass to smithereens, basically. It's kind of pathetic how powerful our government thinks they are, okay? The government thinks they are powerful beyond belief. They think they're basically gods, okay? They can do whatever they want to any country.
Savior Obama.
Yeah. But in reality, it's not our government that's in control. It's the people. Me, you, Cole, not Cole, but, people that are living in the United States are in control of the United States, not our governments. That's what we need to get through our heads. Because
everybody is in control.
If we don't do that, the United States government is going to fucking take control of its citizens even more so than what they are now. Okay, we already got our money controlled by the government. We got our education controlled by the government. We got our food sources controlled, our transportation controlled. The government has too much control of that, guys. I'm telling you, it's inevitable that the government is going to take over and basically have us as slaves, okay?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Because that's the ideology behind the people that are in charge of the United States. They have the power, they have the money, so guess what? We could go ahead and take over and make everybody do what we want them to do, basically.
Oh, yeah.
Rub our feet with lotion, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, maybe,
I'm sorry I kind of went on that rant.
No, I
really wanted to talk about that, guys. I apologize.
You look at the way the U.S. does stuff, and of course they always say, "Oh, we're trying to help the other country. Don't worry, we're helping them with bombs and this and that."
Yeah.
But the sad part is, even if they were helping, they're helping. You have to wonder, like, should they be helping their own people first? You look at the U.S. and the shape that many parts of it are in.
Yeah.
And you'd have to make sure your own people are in good shape before you go ahead and try to help everybody else.
Yeah. Look at all the poverty. Look at all the people without. Look at the financial situation of the United States, and also the diseases that are coming out, and just all the stuff that's going on that we could fix if we didn't. If we weren't worried about all the other stuff going on in other countries. If we focus on our own country, we would be better off tenfold. Okay, we'd be better off tenfold as a country.
And of course, you walk around and you tell me, you realize that it's a tyranny and it's a police state.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not. The police are great. They're here to protect and serve. And of course, there's no telling anybody that in the U.S. it was proven in court that the police actually have no obligation to protect and serve anybody.
Yeah.
Which is really sad. There's no obligation to protect anybody if you're a cop. Just enforce laws.
Yeah. Just enforce laws. Punch people in the face when you need to, bash them over the head with your nightstick. Tase them 100 times if you want to.
Yeah, run them over if you need to.
Yeah. Do you mind if I go on another rant here, just for a second? few
Hey,
minutes?
go ahead.
All right, and I want to get you guys' opinion. I want to get the viewers' opinions. Go ahead and use the Q&A application. And you can find the Q&A application on the Google Plus page of this video, the Hangout here, or you can just go ahead and comment on the YouTube page there, and we'll try to get your comment. But also, my rant that I want to talk about here is Obama can go ahead and the President of the United States can say, okay, I want this law passed. I want to do this. He can't get that bill passed unless if Congress gets together and passes that bill. It's not the president that makes the final decision. It's Congress. It's the people.
In some cases, it is. It's executive order.
Yeah, well
he can't.
He has to have certain reasons to have an executive order. He can't sit there and have thousands of executive orders for every single bill.
Yeah, lately though, it's been Obamacare is a good reason.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is Congress agrees with him. Congress agrees with him that Obamacare would be okay to pass. But okay, let's say Obama says, you know, how he went ahead into office when he went into office and said we want change. You know, let's go ahead and say free health care for everybody. You think Congress would pass that? You think if President Obama decided to get an executive order to have free health care in the United States, do you think Congress would allow that to build?
This was a really good plan.
I bet he would probably be assassinated if he tried to do that.
Oh yeah.
Look at John F. Kennedy. Look at all the bills he wanted to pass and try to get done, and look what happened to him.
Yeah,
The Congress is in control. We need to oust Congress, oust the senators, the politicians, all them guys in there, because those are the people. Those are the left side and the right side. Those are the bastards of the United States, basically. Okay, I'm sorry for saying that, but they are. Okay, they're the ones that are controlling our country, and why? Because they have power and they have money. And I'm sorry I just flipped you off there, but they have power and.
So you're saying they're working against the people?
Yeah, they're working against the people. So no matter what president you get into office, either one, if he tries to do what John F. Kennedy did, and if he tries to, free health care and tries to do change for good, he's going to get taken out, he's going to be impeached, or he's going to all of a sudden get assassinated by some terrorist organization, when really it's our own Congress that's doing it because they have the power, not the president. Go ahead and take a look at some YouTube videos called Ronald Reagan Gets Told What to Do. I believe I spoke about this a long time ago. Basically where Ronald Reagan is doing a speech, okay? And then some guy in the background comes up to him and tells him not to say something. He tells him to be quiet, okay? And you can hear that through the microphone that he's speaking in. You can hear it through the microphone. Now, who can tell the president what to do? Now, this guy wasn't a Secret Service member. He was a politician of some kind, like maybe a vice president or something like that. But he said that, and I heard it, and everybody else that was watching the YouTube video heard it. He told the president what to do. Now, who has the power to do that? People with the money, okay? People with the influences that can, influence world governments, okay? So, what is going on with Cole? What happened?
Oh, nothing. He's talking.
Oh, he was talking to your pops there?
Yeah.
Yeah, by the way, I didn't know this, guys. Oh, Mark Header, go ahead and comment it. He says,
oh, yeah.
How long does Congress have to get a bill passed into law?
For as long as they want.
Yeah, exactly. Look at what happened with the government shutdown. They couldn't get their act together, so they shut the whole fucking government.
Yeah, they just had the pout now. Like, they're a bunch of 5-year-olds, Like when a 5-year-old can't make a decision what to do, they go pout. That's exactly the
So basically, did. Mark, kind of they can take as long as they want to.
Mm-hmm.
They can
process.
They can shut the government down, so it doesn't matter how long it takes. They can shut the government down and just sit on their asses, get paid, get their money.
And although the process they teach you in school and the actual process is very, very different. The actual process is you just lobby and make a large political donation.
Yeah.
And your bill gets passed, and that favors, of course, you and your company.
What do I say to you guys all the time? What do I say to Cole? What's the answer? Money. Money is the answer. You have the money, then you have the power, guys. You have the power to do what you want, to tell people, to do things for you, no matter what they say. And it's just pathetic. Once currency is ousted, once we're done with currency and we're done with any form of payment, then there's no room for power. There's no room for people being higher than the other. And that's what Cole Cooper talks about in his latest article.
Second latest, yeah.
Oh yeah, second latest. Go ahead and talk about that, Cole.
Well, of course, it's a lot. It's kind of what we briefly touched on in our previous live stream.
Yeah.
But basically, in a world without money, there'd be less wars at least. Nobody would be better than anybody else. Of course, there'd be less room for. Well, let's take a look. Actually, I kind of forget what I said.
Well, no, just go. Just just shoot at it. Go at the top of your head. What do you think? What do you think would be?
Well, what I say here is it would make innovation easier. Because of course, innovation. We all say, well, money makes innovation so great because, there's incentive, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But in a world without money, although there may not be incentive to actually gain anything.
How about this? How about this incentive? The betterment of mankind. Bettering mankind just for the fact is that we're all human beings and we all living on a planet that we're destroying, basically.
And that's what I get at.
Yeah, that's what he gets at.
There are those that will be able to see past the dollar signs,
yeah,
and will be able to innovate. And because there's no, necessarily restrictions in terms of budgets, there's no money, there's no restriction. The restriction is technology and materials available to whatever you're trying to innovate. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, and the thing is with money, it's hard to get rid of something that you've had for decades. We've had currency for almost a century, right? More than a century.
Oh, we've had currency for an extremely long time. Of course, before currency, I don't know. Did they teach in school down where you went to school? They teach you about the fur trade and all that in North America?
No, not really. Not really. We didn't. We touched on the subject, but we didn't. Really
well, of course. You probably know about it at this point. I don't know if you do or not, but I'm assuming you do. Of course, throughout North America, the Europeans traded furs with the Indians, as they called them at that point. And some of those companies have
Native Americans, Cole.
Native Americans in the U.S., First Nations or Aboriginals in Canada.
I'm telling you. I'm getting on them tonight, guys.
And of course, when they came there, they mistakenly thought they were Indians.
Yeah.
Of course, they ain't kind of stuck. And in Canada, it's still stuck actually. Although we're not supposed to call them Indians, the government continues to do. The government has the Indian Act, and they are they're very. That's very disrespectful to say. Oh yeah, big time.
Americans, yeah.
Oh yeah, big time. The Canadian government, the law itself has been around for an extremely long time. Nobody's bothered to rename it. The government will gladly call you an Indian here. But anyways.
If you're Indian, don't go to Canada.
And the interesting thing is, obviously the fur trade was their kind of form of payment. You trade furs for guns, knives, and some of the, of course, you trade.
You get back crops and food and corn and
monopolies
and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, there was monopolies at that point, of course.
Of course.
And some of the company, and of course, one company actually remained around and still around. It was founded in the 1700s. Damn phone.
Holy fucking man.
Hang on a second.
I'm glad the video wasn't on me, boy, because, woo! Yeah, I basically know where he's going, that, Native Americans were doing, trade of currency, basically doing trades and stuff like that with the people that came over from Europe. But I also want to, while Cole's talking on the phone, oh wait, he's back, he's done. Okay, Cole, go ahead and say what you're about to say.
So yeah, the Hudson's Bay Company, they're still around, and they were founded in the 1700s. Not exactly trading furs anymore, but they're.
So basically,
don't worry about that.
Basically, we had currency for quite a while, not in the form of paper and coins, but in the form of trading and giving objects value, basically. And we can't go into that now because that's still a form of power. Whoever has the most stuff to trade has the power. Okay. I say get rid of that. Do stuff because you like to do it, because you want to do it, and because you want to better mankind. And that's what Cole talks about in the article as well, I believe.
Right.
Yeah. I get so upset when people say it's impossible to do away with currency.
Because it's always been around. There's always been some form of currency.
Either they're somebody who's just very greedy and loves money.
Or they watch CNN all day.
Or they're corporate owners or something.
Yeah, or that too.
I mean, come on. How can you not think of a world without currency wouldn't be good?
So yeah, of course, like I was saying, we had furs. Of course, today we have currency. We've had, we've traded metals in the past. We still kind of do.
Yeah.
So there's always been some sort of, payment. I don't know about I don't know about cavemen or anything. I don't know. Maybe just clubbed one another over the head.
Give me that chicken.
But I think it could set us up for more innovation.
More innovation, absolutely. Real quick, let's go ahead and get the viewers' perspective on that and ideas and stuff. What do you guys think of a world without money, without currency? Okay, do you think it's plausible? Do you think it would better mankind? And also, do you think there would be more innovation with a world without currency?
Another thing too, I didn't mention in the article, it would probably make education better, because the way the education system is, although nobody wants to admit it, is just a system to ensure that the big corporate companies make more money. They educate you, and then you go work for them. Even if you go to university and become a scientist, you're still making a big company more money. Yeah. Because then you develop something, some company gets a hold of it, and they make millions off it.
Or you get hired, to
right,
work for
exactly.
a corporation. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so either way, it's just a system to make more money. Of course, not for you. And you look at university and college and all that, and it's not a fair system. Who the hell can afford it?
I know. Yeah, exactly.
These big universities, like, I'd love to do that, but I don't want to be in debt for years to come. Yeah. University has put many people in debt, and I guess it's actually starting to hurt the economy at this point.
Well, think about it. The kids, the teenagers nowadays, what do they like? They like video games. They like computers. They like all these technologies that are being developed, but they don't have the money to freaking pay for them because their damn college bill is like fucking $40,000.
Well, actually, it's actually. If you look at at colleges, you can spend well over $100,000.
Well, yeah. I just threw that number out there.
Yeah, and you can buy one hell of a nice car with that.
Oh, hell yeah, a Lamborghini. Oh yeah, boys.
Exactly. So is it a fair? But in a world without money, education would be free, and you have to wonder, should education be free? Of course, they claim obviously when you start off, the government saying education,
higher learning, like college, universities and stuff, should that be free?
Yeah, and of course, that technically kind of makes you superior, and because you have a piece of paper. Well, because you have a piece of paper, you can get better jobs, and you can do this and that. You're smarter than everybody because once again, you have a piece of paper framed up on a wall. And is it true? Probably not. But unfortunately, that's how the world works. So it creates for this world where some people are better than others. Yeah.
That's what sucks. If
currency goes, what will take its place? Nothing, Mark.
Okay, yeah. What will take its place? Nothing. That's exactly it. Nothing will take the place of currency, because if there was something to take the place of currency, then guess what? That's a form of power, and that's going to allow people to have power over other people.
Well, you look at
I have more potatoes than you do, so I'm just using potatoes as an example. But I have more potatoes than you do, so. You're
better than me.
Yeah. I'm better. I'm better than you.
Right. You see, you got 20 potatoes there. I got 25.
Okay. Vlog Montana, which is Anthrite on Ravatu. He says it could be. It could. But how would I be able to charge people for other items?
You wouldn't. There would be no charging. See, this is the idea that nobody can get away with. It's like, okay, without money, how would I make money?
Yeah, you don't need money. What do you need money for?
So you're not going to be charging anybody.
Yeah. Okay, doctors do it because they want to help people, because they want to fix people. Okay? Construction workers do their job because they want to build houses for people and give people a home. Do you think a construction worker would sit back and watch somebody die because of being too cold or whatever? No, that's unethical. That's inhuman. He's not. He's more worried about getting something in return. He'd rather watch somebody die rather than not get a paycheck.
Yeah, it'd be nice to build him a house, you see, but
that right there is bullshit. So if somebody out there thinks that they would do that, you're a piece of shit.
Exactly.
I'm judging you. You're a piece of shit, because if you're gonna watch somebody die just because you're not getting paid, you are a sack of piece of shit and deserve to be on a different planet than us here on Earth, because the whole of humanity, the whole people, everyone in America or in the world, we are all on this planet together. Okay, we are all one. We are not separate countries, and that's why I hate the fact that people basically single each other out.
Yeah, exactly. I'm better than you because I'm in such and such country.
Exactly. That's not the fact. We are all on this planet, okay? You know, what do you think aliens are saying about us? You know, these are dumb,
Well,
stupid. These are dumb, stupid humans. Imagine if they combined all their technology, all their resources, all their knowledge, all the country's knowledge, all together, all the resources and everything, and combined it. We'd probably be in Mars by now. We'd probably have stations on the moon by now.
the problem is we spend like 90% of our resources on killing one another.
Yeah, exactly. But see, if we combined all of our countries and all of our knowledge and did away with currency, we'd be more of a higher developed person. We'd be more evolved because we would be past that point of needing things in return. We'd be past that point of singling ourselves out and judging people and stuff like that. You know?
Right.
But honestly, I go without saying, I'm gonna judge people that would watch somebody die just because they didn't get paid. I'm gonna judge you on that because that's inhumane. That is unethical.
You know? And like I was saying, at university, it's they always say you should go to university. You could make so much money and this and that. But it's not exactly it's not exactly a great choice for many people because they don't have that kind of money.
I go and get a let's say I go and get a master's in information technology or something, IT.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I get out. I got all these bills. I need to hurry up and get a damn job to pay off all these.
And there's no guarantee of a job either.
So guess where I'm working at? Mickey D's. I got a bachelor's.
Exactly.
I got a master's degree in IT, and I'm working at Mickey D's.
Driving a taxi or something. There's lots of PhDs driving taxis.
Yeah, how the hell does that advance our civilization, advance mankind? So do away with currency. Do away with currency because they wouldn't have the bills. They would have the knowledge. They'd be able to go and develop all these awesome things. Because think about all these people out there, all these very well-educated and very smart people that are working at Mickey D's and other places. Not that I have anything against Mickey D's and people that work there, but think about it. They're there working. They're not out working for these big companies and developing all these products and stuff because they have to pay their bills.
No, they're just making hamburgers.
Yeah, they're just flipping them hamburgers, thinking of mathematical equations all along the way in their head,
Yeah, you're thinking about science where they're flipping the burger.
Yeah.
And it's not a fair system, and all it really does too is everyone thinks that person is so smart they'd be looked upon. They have a high-paying job. Yeah. They have this piece of paper that they hang hung on the wall.
Yeah, they're super smart. They're super smart now.
And even in school, even in your regular government, regular school. I can't think of the word I was using now. I've been using for such a long time. But either way.
Higher learning or?
No, just regular schooling.
Regular school?
And you look at it too, and there's,
Practical school?
Sure, that's free. Yeah. But the problem is, even then, there's a lot of people that get themselves, big heads because, they're in some advanced class and like, I'm going to be going to university, making more money than you, I'm smarter than you. And, we've lost the idea that everyone's smart. You're smart if you have a piece of paper that says such and such degree or master's or PhD, then you're smart.
No, smart doesn't get signified by a piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Being smart doesn't get signified by that,
Yeah, just because you can hold up a piece of paper like if you can do this, like, ooh, I'm smart. Like, no, you're not.
I mean, look at Albert Einstein. He was super smart when he was young, He didn't have, that great of an education. He didn't finish high school. I don't think he did he?
I'm not sure.
I don't think he did. He was about to, or he dropped out and then went back after.
Good.
But also he had trouble speaking and stuff like that as well. I heard. And
Thomas Edison, his teachers thought he was a moron.
Yep.
And look what he did.
Look what he did.
I guarantee, one of his inventions are in your home right now. Chances are it's probably lighting your room.
I want to throw this theory out there. I know it's not really a theory because I did some research on it a long time ago. And it's way off topic. I apologize, but I just want to throw it out there to get you guys' opinion on it. What do you guys think of, say, getting a tape recorder, okay? And on that tape recorder, you have the ABCs, okay? You have basic math. And while the child is developing, the fetus is developing in the mother's womb, you place that tape recorder, or you get a tape recorder and place it on the mother's belly for a couple hours each day until she gives birth. Now, do you think that child will retain some of that knowledge or be familiar once it, is born or once it, develops a little bit more?
I think the only way.
Absolutely, because a child retains the familiarity between the mother's voice, between the father's voice. Whenever it develops, when it's developing, the brain is developing as well. So
Right.
it's bringing in knowledge. It's starting to bring in stuff. Learn stuff basically. It's been proven that the child does learn in the mother's womb.
Well, it has to learn the environment and stuff like that.
Yeah. So obviously, if you have a recording for about an hour and a half to 2 hours every single night while the child is developing, place it on her stomach. I don't think she'd be too happy about that. But the child will be skilled in English and speech, and mathematics and stuff like that. Absolutely.
It may not be skilled, but it might have that knowledge that could be.
It'll click. It'll click in their brains like.
Right.
I'm getting it just like that. So yeah, they're gonna be top A student in their classes and stuff.
Yeah, I think one way to figure that out is
but there was a study done.
See if they can learn a language quicker.
Cole, there was a study done on this, and it was proven. I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
I guarantee. I agree with you. It probably is.
They did it, but it was back in like the 50s and 60s, I think. 40s, 50s, or 60s.
But I think an interesting way to see if it was possible, would be to, let's say, try to teach the kid before it's born.
Yeah.
English, play some recording, trying to teach them the language, and see
because there's no harm can be done by doing
right, and then see if I don't expect the kid to come out and say, "Hey, how are you?"
Yeah. But, hey, buddy. 5 + 5 = 10.
But I think what might be interesting is to see if it can grasp language sooner, understand it, speak it sooner than, let's say, a kid that doesn't get that, right? But then again, of course, every kid probably hears the language to an extent while they're before they're born too, because it's
but they don't hear the ABCs. They don't hear.
No, it's just words.
They just hear words like happy and honey and mom and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Baby.
They don't hear like ABCs and then the ABCs being put into words and how it's put into words and stuff like that, and then it goes into the English vocabulary and verbs and nouns and all that good stuff. Eventually, there's more to be developed into this and more to look into.
Yeah.
And I'm sure back then they did a lot of studies in the 40s and 50s because the paper that I looked at, the document that I looked at, they were doing it, but it was closed down because of they were saying it's wrong to do that. You're doing bad. Look at what they're doing now. With gene experimenting and all that. I mean,
look at food. What they do. You can go to a grocery store and buy an apple that tastes like a grape. I mean, that's kind of scary, But there's lots of weird foods you can buy now. But look at like, how did they make that?
Apple. What was it? Apple pomegranate mixed together, or apple peach mixed together, or something like that. I've seen. It was like a peach, but it tastes like an apple.
Oh, that's weird. Yeah, I haven't seen those. I just seen the ones that you buy. It looks exactly like an apple and it tastes like a grape.
Oh yeah, go ahead and like research it. Just Google it up. Apple that tastes like peaches, or peaches that look like apples, or stuff like that. Very simple.
And what you mentioned though with a baby being able to learn like that, it's kind of similar to the idea of you can listen to something while you're sleeping and then retain it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because when the baby's sleeping, it's also learning as well.
Right.
And not only is it learning in the womb, but it's going to learn when it's born, when it's a child, when it's outside of the womb and sitting down or in the cradle. You go ahead and instead of playing freaking Miley Cyrus or playing some stupid little thing
brainwashing song.
Yeah. Go ahead and play the ABCs. Go ahead and play the ABCs on a tape recorder. A lot of families don't do that until the child gets to 3 or 4. Do it when the child is, an infant and on up.
And then you play the kid baby songs and this and that.
Yeah. Roll your boat. What the hell? What is this for? He's not learning. He's just fucking sitting there listening to some stupid ass song and wondering what the hell you're doing to him,
Yeah, exactly. Some of the stuff you see parents do to their babies, I think they're being so kind. And you think about some of the stuff that parents do, and you think about it from the baby's perspective.
Yeah.
You'd probably be terrified if you were the baby.
Oh, hell yeah. Having these freaking rattles and shaking them out their heads. And, get like this freaking scary Monsters Inc. Doll or whatever and putting it up to his face. And
yeah, exactly.
The list goes on and on how society's being changed because the parents are buying all these things for the child before.
The education system, greatly changed society.
Yeah,
I've looked at this idea of self-directed learning and just kind of doing the learning on your own.
Yeah.
And I think it would be better because if you're learning on your own, you'd have more incentive to actually do it because chances are you learn something that you're actually interested in. versus what you do in school, and you wasted 12 years of your life, at least 12 years.
That's what I did with my cooking and catering. I did that learning on my own. I took a class and learned it on my own. Oh, yeah. I didn't go to like a university or whatever. Yeah, I did take a class, but I did it on my own time. I was able to do it on my own time. I didn't have to go to a university or go to like the Culinary Arts Institute or whatever like that. I was able to schedule my own classes and
and of course, if you go to a school or something, even if it's regular school, and you go there and they waste at least your life.
I gotta share this with Cole, guys. I apologize. Go ahead, Cole.
They waste like 12 years of your life teaching you 50% of stuff that you just. What is it? That's me.
That's scissors to your hair.
Oh, I didn't see the scissors.
Take a look, guys. That's scissors to Cole Cooper's hair. Anthrite Onravatu Vlog Montana just sent that to me. There's Cole Cooper with the scissors in front of his hair. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I'm gonna go ahead and retweet that now. He tweeted it, by the way, so you can retweet it.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you look at it, and they teach you like 50% of this garbage. It is just that garbage. Yeah, and you don't listen, and you sit there and you doze off because you're not listening, and they come, oh, you got ADHD. but anyways,
it's like a massive freaking blow up of.
Oh, it's an epidemic of ADHD. No idea where it came from, though. Like we're only teaching boring garbage, and you could only expect one to not listen to us.
Look at SpongeBob SquarePants. How many it goes on to one thing and then it jumps to another thing and it goes to another thing and it goes to another thing, and it's just like one thing after another. It doesn't give the child the time to sit there, comprehend what's happening, learn about it, and then move on to the next.
So you're saying we're conditioning people for ADHD.
It's kind of like a dumbing. It's kind of like a dumbing down because guess what?
I never watched
guess what? Guess what, Cole? We got the child has ADHD. Oh my God, we need to give him these medications that make him look like a zombie and act like a zombie. Yeah. My nephew, listen. My nephew Austin, he was diagnosed with severe ADHD, and he took some medicine that made him a zombie. Guess what he looked like? Guess what he acted like? Throughout the whole day.
Oh wow. See, and that's what teachers do now. They medicate their students into submission. Like, okay, he doesn't like what I'm doing, so obviously my teaching isn't working, and the subject I'm teaching is relatively boring to this class. Okay, they all got ADHD. Let's give them medication.
Yeah, let's give them medication. Dumb them down,
And
that's the thing. Big corporations, okay, they create the problem, and then they say, okay, we have the solution to the problem, but guess what? We're gonna make billions off of this.
Yeah, the solution is an orange pill bottle.
It's the money. It's the money. They create the problem so they can get rich. Because they have the solution.
It's like cancer,
Yeah.
Easy to make money off that. It's not. Is there probably a cure? Yeah, probably. They banned them all, but there's a cure.
Yeah. Let me touch on that subject then, Cole. I have bad asthma. I have GERD, which is gastric esophageal reflux disease. I have ulcerative colitis, which is a chronic inflammation disease. I also have a ostomy, and now I have type 1 diabetes. Okay. Now most of those diseases and most of those illnesses can be subdued or kind of
they're treatable.
They're treatable, but what treats it is cannabis, not just smoking all the time. Cannabis oils,
the oils,
cannabinoid edibles, stuff like that. The stuff that doesn't make you have the high, it just takes care of the rest. Okay, because marijuana has THC. Marijuana makes you high, but if you take out the THC part, the stuff that makes you high, and keep the rest, keep the vitamins and minerals and all the other medical benefits, then you can cure diabetes. You can. It's been proven that cannabis oil lowers diabetes or lowers blood sugar levels.
Yeah, there's even certain types of teas that can do that too.
Yeah, and that's the thing is where's cannabis grown? Where's marijuana plants grown? In the earth. Where's a pill grown? In a freaking manufacturer in a laboratory, okay, with chemicals and stuff that could freaking cause cancers. What would be better for you? Something that is grown, that you can eat without having the high effect, and use oils, or would it be better to take a pill that has chemicals inside it that can freaking cause cancers and kill you?
Yeah, it solves one problem and creates 50 more.
Yeah. That way, they condition that way. They can give you more pills on top of more pills and make more money and more money on top of more money.
Until you actually die because you over-medicate.
It's like, oh my God, people can't see the problem here, guys.
And like I was saying, I watched like what we mentioned earlier. You mentioned SpongeBob and how it's probably, conditioning people for ADHD. And I never actually watched that. I watched like once or twice and didn't really get into it, or very much.
Movies or TV shows before like 2003. No, I'd say 2000. Yeah, 2003, 2004. Weren't so much as ADHD kind of.
Right.
Like, that would cause ADHD. They were kind of like, Captain Planet. Anybody remember that? Captain Planet, he's the hero. Gonna take him down. Something, something, something. You guys can finish the lyrics to that. But I love the Captain Planet. And it was basically a superhero that would go around and do good on Earth. And there was also children involved that had these super rings. And they'd be like, Super or Captain Hero, save us, or something like that. And they'd shoot up the super ring beam or whatever, and Captain Planet would come and save the day. And basically, it was the TV show was basically around recycling, green energies,
Oh wow.
And this was early, 80s and 90s and early 2000s. I'm not sure if it was 80s, 70s, or I can't remember when it came into production. But Captain Planet was an awesome TV program for kids. But now you have SpongeBob, and you have all these other little programs. I can't remember all of them out there, but
right.
There's a lot of them out there that are just like they jump to one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. They don't give the child the time to comprehend what's going on and settle with it. Their mind is constantly jumping around, so when they go to sit down and read a book, they can't because their mind is so used to jumping around.
Yeah, the book goes in a logical order.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, I can't do this. I need to go do something else. They got to have that constant thing going on in their brain. They got to be constantly doing something and have all this stuff jumped up, basically.
Maybe it's a rather good thing I didn't watch too many cartoons.
and also ADHD children are very good with computers. Why? Because think of multitasking. Children could be, on the computer doing a bunch of different things, and they've been conditioned to do that by watching these programs and medications and stuff that the government has been doing to our children for a while now. And that's why ADHD children are very good at computer stuff, because they could do a lot of stuff, and it could keep their mind it could keep their mind at bay, basically. Okay, and that's the cure for children is keeping their mind calm and at bay and content.
Give them something to do.
Give them something to do, but something constructive. Something constructive.
Right.
Because a child can't just sit there and read a book. A child can't with ADHD. A child can't just sit there and write a 5-paragraph page or whatever. They got to have a bunch of different things happening at once, because their mind is just so programmed to jump to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing.
Huh. Well, interesting. I want to finish off this last question, because we're almost at 8:45 Eastern. And so, question for you: do you think the education system, of course, now that we've mentioned ADHD and how the education system is probably the reason why we're seeing this huge spike in the number of cases, do you think it's actually any use for anybody? Do you think the education system as it is beneficial?
How can it not be? Oh wait, as it is, it's beneficial.
As it is right now.
As it is right now. Yes, it's beneficial by teaching children, the crap that's being spouted out. At least they're learning some things, right, Cole? They're learning some things, not what they should be learning. They're not learning everything, the truth.
Well, yeah, of course, like using math. Yeah, and I'm blown away with the way they teach math now. They teach you, like 30 different ways to solve the same problems.
See, Cole, I'm from a different time period, basically, when I started learning math. Okay, yeah, I learned math where 2 plus. We did math for about an hour to an hour and a half. Okay.
Right.
And we learned, our basic math, and then we went on up to algebra, and then on up and just kept going. But what's the problem with math, Cole? Because I don't think there's a problem with math from my education experience. But with your education experience, it might be different. Think about it. You're in a different country. You're from a different.
Oh yeah. And the interesting thing I found, at least with my math education, is thankfully I got out of elementary right when they were implementing a brand new curriculum that makes absolutely no sense to anybody.
Okay, so this is new to me. This is new to me. That's why I think the education system.
I've been watching these questions and stuff that pop up, and they like 10 minus 5. You put the 10 over the 5, put a minus sign there, whatever, if you want to do something that fancy. Yeah. 10 minus 5 is 5. It's not that difficult.
Yeah.
But they'll show you like a 8-step process to do that.
Oh yeah, there's totally yeah, and then you go on to the next teacher, and she says, "Oh no, that's wrong." You go into the next grade and say, "Oh no, where'd you learn this crap? This is wrong.
Yeah, I
This
find
is
it really interesting.
this is how you're supposed to do this equation." I get where you're going with that. Yeah, that's totally totally can be changed.
Yeah, like there's one simple way to solve that problem.
Yeah,
Yet they're
go
going
ahead.
to teach you 30 different ways to do it that don't make any sense to anybody. And
And
of course,
don't teach it at all.
yeah,
Freaking
in
hell.
Canada, there's actually petitions in multiple provinces to get
Mm.
it all changed back to the way it was because it doesn't make any sense to anybody.
Yeah. Here's my final thoughts on education. Okay, do away with the dumbing down that's going on in our education.
Right.
Get that out of there. Um, what else could we change? We could change learning calculus and demanding trigonometry and calculus and
Trigonometry.
demanding to pass what is it pass the grade, pass the classes, but don't demand passing this freaking big huge test that's going to make everybody nervous because let's face it, everybody gets nervous and everybody screws up. Let's not base
Right.
a child's future on just one big test. Let's base him
And
on
even
how
if
he
you
did throughout the year. How well did he did on learning his alphabet
exactly
and his English, his geography, his world history, his mathematics. How well did he do that? Don't let's base it off of how this one test turned
one
out. Okay.
test, and
Yeah.
even if they even if they don't
Do
get
away with that.
nervous, there's so many other things that could prevent them from doing good on the test. They
Absolutely.
could be
Absolutely.
tired, they didn't sleep well,
Absolutely.
they're stressed out over something else, they're
Do
having
away with
different
that.
problems, they're sick.
Yeah.
There's many reasons. Like, if you got a cold, chances are you probably do worse in the test.
All
And
right, guys. Guess what? I'm gonna do for you guys a special. I'm gonna test my blood on camera.
and
Yeah, I'll just do that.
while you're testing your blood, I
Yeah.
want to mention this. See, so I was reading a short story, and you can still hear me, right? Oh, I don't think he can. Dan. Wait till he gets back. I want him to hear this. So Jason.
Right, I'm back.
Jason. Okay, I want you to hear this. So I waited.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, I was reading this short story. It's part of a test I was taking actually in school, right? And there was a section I was supposed to read a short story, or actually it wasn't quite a short story. It was more so something that actually happened. And there's some questions afterwards, but this one particular line in this story really, I don't know if it was just a typo, but it was an interesting typo.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I think that the writer meant to say police station, but it came out really different.
Oh, please
So,
stay.
yeah. So,
Oh, yes.
yeah, they took something like they took her to the police state.
Oh man, I thought there was a lot of backlash against that one.
I don't know if anybody noticed it, but I just
Yeah.
I just underlined police state and.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I highlight it. All right, let me go and just show you my little meter here. You guys probably seen it if you have family members that have diabetes. But I got this from the hospital. Basically, I take this wherever I go. Inside here is my little lancet. Now, what a lancet is basically you twist this off, and what you get on there is the needle you take to prick yourself with to draw the blood. All right, and then I take my little pricker, as I call it. That's not the technical term for it.
Right.
But I go ahead and insert it like so into here. Careful not to prick myself. And then from now, I clip that on. I want to make sure I don't prick myself too much, so I have it on 3. Go ahead and take a little cock to that, cock the little trigger mechanism here. Then I go ahead and get my meter out, which is right here. Nice little handy dandy meter. Get my little test strip out. Thankfully, my healthcare, I didn't have to pay for this. Yeah, I didn't have to pay for it. I have good healthcare, so
Do you know if Obamacare would have paid for that?
No, I don't think so because I actually took a look at Obamacare. I went to healthcare.gov and looked at the plans they have, and a lot of them you have enormous copays like $70, $80, $500, $900 copays and stuff like that. So basically, I take the little reader here and put it in there. See the little 2 black lines on each side?
Right.
The little 2 black dots. That's where I put my blood at. So go ahead and take. If you're squeamish about blood and stuff, I go ahead and turn away now. Go ahead and take that. Go ahead and take that, and then I just go, bam, just prick myself. Not sure if you can see the blood.
You can sort of see it, yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if it'll focus.
Yeah. Thanks.
All
See a dark
right.
spot.
Go ahead and then put that on my meter. Hear the beep?
Yeah.
I need to get some alcohol wipes. Actually, I forgot to get them. And now it's reading. Hopefully it's low. Oh, wow. High. 254. And get this, guys. That's the normal reading for me or for you is 70 to 110. That's what a normal person would be. Mine, without eating dinner yet, I haven't ate dinner yet, and it's 2:54. The last time I ate was lunch. And so my sugar should have broken down already. Since it's like 8 o'clock, you know, and it being 2:54. So basically, that's my little meter I wanted to show you guys. Now that we're ending, I want to go ahead and promote something real quick, if you don't mind. Cool.
You're the host of this one.
All right. My new YouTube channel. Okay.
Oh yes. Yeah. I think I'm the first subscriber.
Yeah. My old YouTube channel, Mr. Jazzreen1, also known as Make Vids All Day, Jason Goyette vlog channel, that is dead. I'm gonna do one more vlog upload, and that is it. And I'm gonna talk about it in my my new YouTube. Talk about it in the vlog that I upload to the old YouTube channel. The new YouTube channel is named The Diabetic Geek. Okay. The Diabetic Geek. And basically you subscribe to that. It's going to have similar content to my old channel, okay? And I also have a Facebook page, Diabetic Geek on Facebook, which is pretty active. Thank you guys for that. If you're watching and you've liked it.
I couldn't find the Facebook page.
Oh yeah, it's facebook.com/diabetic
Yeah,
and then I have a Twitter as well, which is twitter.com/thediabeticgeek. And on my new YouTube channel, I'm going to be doing vlogs, health product reviews. I'm going to be talking a lot about my health, a lot about my problems that I've dealt with, how I'm dealing with it, how I'm dealing with my ostomy, my ulcerative colitis, my diabetes, my type 1 diabetes. Like I said, product reviews, tech reviews, a bunch of content, guys. I'm going to produce a lot of content, okay? It's going to be overwhelming. You're not going to need a television anymore, okay? If you're subscribed to my channel. And I'm also going to do, you know, just random live shows if need be. Maybe invite some people, stuff like that. You know, just have fun with it. Just enjoy it and kind of accept. The reason why I'm doing a new YouTube channel is because I kind of had a big change in my life. So I want to revamp everything that I'm doing. And by doing a new YouTube channel, it's kind of signifying the reborn or the revamping of the change in my life. And that is being diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, which I'm going to have the rest of my life, which I'm going to have to take insulin the rest of my life, probably 4 times a day, which basically, let me go ahead and show you guys. I'm going to show you guys something. Alright, I'm back. Alright, I just want to show you what I had to learn by myself. Like, the doctors didn't teach me this. I had to learn this one. Here is my syringe, right? And that's what I used to inject myself with the insulin. Basically, I just you know, pull that out. There's a little needle right there. And I had to figure out how far I should stick this into my skin for my medicine to get in, because the doctors didn't tell me, because they didn't teach me how to use a syringe. They taught me how to use a different instrument, which I'll go into on my channel, The Diabetic Geek. But anyways, I just wanted to show you the syringe that I've been using for the past few days here. I just dial it up to 10 units, which now is actually going to be 12 units because they changed my insulin levels. And then I just go ahead and pinch my skin, stick it right into the skin, you know, jam her in there real good, you know, maybe move it around a little bit, and then just plunge the insulin right in there. But I find it cool to learn about this stuff, my health problems, and I find it motivating, inspiring to others. Hopefully I inspire others to accept their disease and accept their disability, whatever they have. And yeah, I just really like talking about it with people. Hopefully Cole Cooper would or somebody would like to interview me about my disease.
Oh, I want to interview you. About I was about to ask you right after this.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you guys want to talk to me in a hangout, maybe a live hangout. Any of the viewers, if you want to talk to me in a live show and interview me on it and just talk about it, I'm free. I'm open. You know.
Oh, I got a neat plan.
My new YouTube channel, guys. I'm gonna be an open book. My old YouTube channel, I wasn't. As I said, I was kind of worried about passing gas on the camera. I was worried about my ostomy making noise while I'm recording. I was worried about things like that. But now I'm going to be open book. You want to do a live show and talk about my health problems? feel free to ask me about doing that. We'll set it up. Don't just expect me to be available whenever, okay? Because I have
like 3 a.m. in the morning. You want to do a live show?
No. The thing is with my insulin is it kind of takes a lot out of me. I get really nauseous and I get kind of tired and cranky, kind of like in a bad mood, and then it wears off after once my insulin levels kind of level out and stuff. But one last thing before we have to go. Vlog Montana says, do not tell Jason that I am a vampire. I may get excited. Oh boy, Anthony. I may have to send you some vials of blood for Christmas there or birthday.
And one thing I want to mention too is I'm probably going to get some articles out on, like I said, the oh, that's a good question. I totally forgot. I don't know. I'll just leave it at that. I might write about the education system. There's something else I want to write about. I got written down somewhere.
Yeah.
But, there's going to be some neat articles coming out. Okay. Yeah, I remember now, yeah. It's something I never got around to asking you about the flight because we got distracted.
Yeah.
But one thing I'm going to write about is, should like the data the black boxes record on planes, should that just be transmitted to land so we don't have to hunt for black boxes for months?
That's a good question.
Because think about plane crashes in the ocean. We spend months, years looking for a black box. It gets destroyed by something. It gets burned in a fire.
Now, what do you mean by transmitted to land?
Transmitted somewhere on land. That way, that information, instead of storing it just on the airplane, we can have a backup elsewhere.
Well, think of how much money that would cost, Cole.
Not necessarily. We have the satellites in place. All we have to do is add something to these planes.
Wait. Okay. Now I'm going a little bit overboard here, over time. But you're saying have a upload of information to land when the plane when the plane goes into a disaster scenario.
Or just all the time. The infrastructure exists.
Yeah, but having that information processed all the time, being uploaded back and forth constantly, there has to be some type of storage on land and some type of connection.
I don't think I don't think it would take that much storage. Just think about the black box overwrites itself after a while too.
It would take more money than what it would for have a black box to be.
But in that case, would you say spend millions of dollars looking for the black box?
You got a good point. Cole, I vote you for head of airline security, whatever.
Think about it. We will spend an enormous amount of money looking for the black box. Yeah. And there was an Air France flight. We spent an extremely long time looking for the black box, and thankfully we were able to recover some information.
The Airbus A35 something, was it?
I'm not sure. I don't remember now. And of course, the black box, when underwater, only transmits a signal for a month. After a month, good luck finding it. And if it's too deep, good luck finding it.
Yeah. I got to get my insulin in me. Yeah, very good question, Cole. And let us know in the comments below, guys. Thank you guys for viewing. Thank you guys for tuning in for News in General.
Yeah, I'm gonna get an article out on that, so I'll definitely describe that in more detail.
Go ahead and check out newsingeneral.com. Check out our Facebook. You can continue our conversation and the conversation we had on here. You go ahead and go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/newsingeneral. Blast that page with likes and comments and theories on God knows what, because I love to hear them. Go ahead and tweet us and follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/newsingeneral. You can also follow me, the Diabetic Geek, on Twitter, and my personal one is Jason Goyette on Twitter. Go ahead and follow Cole Cooper CK270 on Twitter as well. And thank you guys for tuning in, and just thank you guys for your support. You guys have been very great. So, thank you for watching. Peace. Just in time, too.
You haven't ended it yet.
Oh, great. We're still live streaming. It's saying it's stopping. Holy cow. You just got to see me jump again.
Yeah.
Come on, end it already. End. Triangle, I don't know. Basically, I don't know. Hopefully it hasn't crashed because they haven't found no wreckage. They should have by now. I mean, look at all the airplanes and boats that were out there looking for it. You think they would find something, and they haven't. They did find something in the water, but they said it wasn't related to the crash, supposedly. But I just hope, the people that were on the airplane, either if it's a terrorism thing or if they, a country captured the airplane and went ahead and put it like in a safe hiding place or in an airbase somewhere to where nobody can see it, and let the passengers go. That's what I hope for. I hope the passengers are okay, because some of the passengers weren't involved. There's only like 2 passengers maybe involved with this, I'm hearing. So hopefully those other passengers are okay, because I hate to see all these people pass away and over some terrorist plot, because if it was malfunction they would have sent out a distress signal. So either 1, it's a terrorist plot, or 2, they were captured by UFOs, or possibly 3, they were lost in some warped Bermuda Triangle type thing. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and get you guys' thoughts on that real quick. By the way, you can use the YouTube Q&A, the Q&A app for the YouTube here. You can also just comment below in the video and I will respond to you guys there. But priority, if you use the Q&A app, that's priority. I will respond quickly with that because I have it right here in the Hangout that I have going. But if you have it on the YouTube comment, then we're going to have to go onto YouTube and then look at the comment. And it kind of takes a while. So it's a lot easier to use the Q&A app that we have here for the Google Hangout. So that's really good. Oh, look who it is. It's Cole Cooper, guys.
Hello.
Put my earbuds in. That way I can hear him. Where are my earbuds? Here they are. Over my freaking neck.
And we are live.
Alrighty. I can't hear Cole yet.
Alright, can you hear me now? Oh. Should be able to.
Oh, wait a minute. I think I hear him. Yes, I hear Cole now.
Hang on. I can barely hear you now.
Uh-oh. What'd you do, Cole? Did you break the whole internet thing?
No, I think that was you.
Oh, wait. Is this better?
There we go, yeah.
Better?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, let me try something real quick. Having some little technical difficulties. Apologize for that. Okay, I can hear you now. Can you hear me? Right, I think I am live. Hopefully I am. Let me just go ahead and tweet this out real quick for you guys, and we will be all set. Alright, Cole Cooper will be joining us in a moment here. He's the co-owner of News in General, and he'll be joining us a little later. So, basically, let me go ahead and tweet this out and share this event out. Just to mention, make sure to comment below on your, your theories as to what happened to the Malaysian Flight 370, and also make sure to follow us on Twitter, News in General, and all that good stuff. I'll get into that a little later in my introduction here. So let me just share this stuff out for you guys. Okay. Hello, folks. Now, before we get into tonight's topic, which is the missing Malaysian Airlines Flight 370, we will be discussing our theories as to what happened to the flight. We'll also be discussing your theories as well and seeing what we can come up with, basically. But first, let me do some shameless self-promoting. As you know, newsingeneral.com is a place to get all of your news stories that is not bound by corporate interests, like CNN and other news outlets. So please check out newsingeneral.com. I know Cole Cooper has been putting out some very interesting articles, like the Obama giving Americans a raise, and also the other article he put out there, would a world without money actually work? You can follow us on Twitter at newsingeneral.com, and you can continue the conversation on our active Facebook page, facebook.com/newsingeneral, all one word. Okay, now let's take care. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's get on with our theories and stories here. Like I said, make sure to comment below and give us your theories as well, because I really want to hear your theories. So first, let's take a look at some of the news articles here. Basically, the news articles are saying there's a lot of people out there saying that's a conspiracy theory, basically saying that the Malaysian Flight 370 has been taken over by terrorists, or maybe did our own government take this plane over and is going to use this plane for a future black flag terrorist attack on our own country. Because you go ahead and take a look at 9/11 and you look at the plane that was used in that, and people are saying that it wasn't even a United Airlines flight. It was just kind of like a blacked out plane, basically, with a stripe down the middle and with windows on the side. My theory is that it possibly could be something like that. But what happened to all the people? Okay, what happened to all these people that are all the passengers, basically? If that were so, there would be passengers speaking out. But let me get to the point here. maybe the passengers were either bought out or sworn to secrecy or even threatened if they went on to basically talk about what was going on, the truth. So our own government could be involved in this. You never know. You never get the whole story with media and stuff like that. So basically tonight I'm going to be trying to dig down deep into different theories as to what happened to this missing flight. Where are these passengers? Why hasn't there been no real wreckage found? Why wasn't there a distress signal, sent out? I mean, come on, there has to be a distress signal if something's going wrong with the plane. So that's why it leads me to think that the distress signal wasn't sent out because the plane wasn't in distress. The cockpits and the people that were in charge, I guess the two passengers or whatever that were supposedly got tickets. Right here it says friends got tickets for mystery flyers. So I believe they're Iranian. I'm not positive on that. Maybe you can write down in the comments below. But supposedly there was two passengers that were Iranian that took tickets, or friends got them tickets to get on this plane, and then all of a sudden the plane goes missing. So basically I'm going to be looking at some different articles here. Okay, so here's this article from fastcompany.com. I'll put the link in the description below after the video has gone up on YouTube. It says, where in the world is Malaysia Airlines Flight 370? Conspiracy theorists take to the internet. So basically they're, saying, oh, everyone who has a conspiracy or everyone who tries to dig deep into the Malaysian Airlines flight to figure out what happened to it, because obviously we're not getting the truth with what's going on with the news and media. They're basically labeling everybody that's out there that's trying to dig deep into it a conspiracy theorist. Now that's okay, that's fine by me, because I like my conspiracy theories. So on Saturday, a Boeing 777 disappeared over the South China Sea without a trace. We still have no idea where it is. Conspiracy theorists, start your browsers. It says they add it there as a second heading. Honestly, I like to get your guys' ideas as to where this flight is, what happened to it. My idea is either the flight has been taken over by terrorists, or the flight has been been captured by a UFO or lost in the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
All right, we're good to go. Hopefully this whole thing doesn't crash, but we got a question here. Could it be a distraction from the Ukraine topic?
Well, hang on. Where are we in the discussion right now?
Right now we're in a discussion as to a possible theory as to what happened to this Malaysian flight. What happened to it? What is your theory on this? Now our guest or our comment here by YT Viceman, he asked, could it be a distraction from Ukraine?
I've been thinking that too, but yeah, I've been thinking that too. But from the news reports that I've been seeing, at least that I was watching some of the mainstream media stuff, they're still mentioning Ukraine. So
yeah, this is CNN still has it out there. Drudge Report also has it out there. I recommend going to Drudge Report. Don't go CNN. If you can, also go to newsingeneral.com. So
yeah, I've been actually in this the past half an hour here. I've been watching a bunch of different news reports. Mainstream media decided it's easy, but if you watch a whole bunch of different ones from different news sources, you see a lot of discrepancies.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've mentioned it or not, but did you? What did you mention about the plane itself that went missing? Did you mention that there was some mechanical problems?
There was? No, I didn't mention that.
Because a lot of news reports have been saying there are no mechanical problems.
If there was a mechanical problem, there should have been a distress signal sent out. Because if it was a mechanical,
unless it was serious.
Well,
here's my point. And what could have happened, it might have been serious. And they mentioned, because they talk about the plane's history. They say the plane had great history, nothing happened. Some reports. Other reports, I think it was ABC or something that mentioned it, said that 2 years ago, I guess some airport had clipped its wing, and they said they fixed it, but if that would have caused structural damage to the plane over time, wears and tears, and eventually the wing blows off.
Yeah. So
and I was watching another video too, and they had some expert on saying that if there was a serious problem, the first priority is to not at all contact anybody, instead fly the damn thing and see if you can solve it. And when it's all over and done with, then you contact somebody.
Okay.
Because it's distracting, right?
My point, I agree. My point is, though, there should have been some type of wreckage found. Look at how many boats and planes have been searching for this in the area that it was, last known. I mean, it's not like we're searching in the Atlantic Ocean. It's not like a huge amount of.
It depends where it went. if it was hijacked, like some people are suggesting, you know, the
Yeah.
standard terrorism
Oh yeah.
thing.
Well, it's hey Cole. Let's not throw that out. It could be terrorists. You
It
know.
could be, but
Because,
hey, come on.
because think of this. Think of this. Okay, let me tell you my theory that could be possible here.
Right.
Maybe some country out there that wants to prepare for a big war, prepare for a big terrorist attack, maybe took over this flight and maybe flew it to an undisclosed location or undisclosed airport. Maybe are holding all these people hostage. Okay.
I was about to say that. Yeah, maybe it didn't crash at all.
Yeah, holding these people hostage and are planning this terrorist attack and going to use this plane for it in the future.
Right.
In the future, that's possible. That's very possible. I mean, because look at the supposed 9/11 attack. Look at how people are saying the plane that they seen didn't look like a United Airlines flight. It looked like just a blacked out plane, a white plane with a black stripe down it. That's what they said it looked like with windows on the side, basically.
Well, all planes have windows on the side, but
yeah. But they said there was no insignia either.
Right.
There was no United Airlines flight, you know, on the tail where it says AA. There was no insignia there either. So what if it's our own government that could be doing this, or what if it's another government that's doing this? Or
well, yeah, I don't think the U.S. would have a hand in that all the way out there. I can see.
No. I'm just saying.
But how about Russia?
Yeah, that's very plausible there, Russia. Yeah.
Yeah, see, the U.S. really doesn't have anything to gain from, you know, a plane, you know, disappearing over Malaysia. Actually, in Vietnamese airspace.
What about another false flag operation though?
You never know.
Yeah,
of course, there's another thing that's been.
Wait. That's why I threw that subject out there, was you never know, you know.
Right. How's my lighting? Does this look okay?
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, fantastic. Your face is all lit up, real good. So you're good.
All right.
I had a busy week. I'm gonna have a busier week. I got like 4 or 5 more doctor's appointments. So this month.
And I don't know if you've mentioned it or not yet, but as well, the airline, Malaysia Airlines, I believe it was.
Yep, 370.
They've also, if this turns out to be a hijacking,
mm-hmm.
This is in the case that it is, it's actually very similar to something that they suffered that happened to them in the 70s.
Oh, really?
A very similar thing happened to Malaysia Airlines in the 70s. One of their planes disappeared. It was a hijacking, and 100 people died.
Well, what did they just like crash in the ocean, or they?
Yeah, they crashed in the ocean.
Yeah.
But so that's why it's very, very similar to what happened in the 70s. If it is a hijacking.
Yeah, if it is, that's it. If it is. But like I said, they haven't found no wreckage yet, and you know, there's been tons of planes and tons of boats out there.